All right, so the first thing we're going to build is a series circuit. For any sort of circuit, you have to have 3 components in order for it to be considered a circuit. So you need a power source. In this case, we're going to use a battery. We'll look at what a 6 volt looks like in our circuit, and then we also have a 1.5 volt battery. See how that looks in our circuit. So power source, we're going to use a light bulb as our load, one single load on this simple series circuit. And then since we only have 1 load, we'll need just 2 wires. So that's what we're going to need for our circuit. Let's try the smaller battery first. So this 1.5 volt battery, I'm going to hook that up to my series circuit. So now when I attach this to the battery, we know that the electrons are going to come out of the negative side of the battery. They're going to flow around through the circuit in the complete single loop and back to the positive side of the battery. Now electrons only flow in that direction. They're not going to flow out of the positive side and towards the negative. They always come out of the negative side. Now in lab, we also have some clamps typically that you can put this battery in to hold it. I don't have that at the moment, so you can just hold the clamps to the end of the terminal and it should work just the same. I don't know if you can see that bulb there, super dim. So in this simple series circuit with just 1 load and a power source of 1.5 volts, you're going to get a really dim lit bulb there. Let's switch that out for a more powerful power source. Let's use the 6 volt battery. This time the terminals are on the same side, so you have your negative labeled on the one terminal here and the positive on the other one. So let's see what this bulb looks like. You can see much brighter, so you kind of see the difference with the different voltage on the batteries. All right, so something else that we can do with this series circuit is we can open it up and add 2 loads. We are going to need another battery, and I'm going to use another light bulb. And let's see what it looks like when we have 2 bulbs attached in series as compared to the 1 bulb that we just did. So let's stick with that 6 volt. That one was pretty bright. All right, now I'm going to do 1 single loop, and I just opened it up and added an extra bulb on there. So we have 1 single loop there for the electrons to travel on. That's what makes it a series. It only has 1 pathway. And let's put these terminals on the clamps and see what happens. All right, now in comparison, if you look back at what the light bulb looked like when we only had 1 load in the circuit, that 1 load was very, very bright. Now that we have 2 loads on the circuit, we can see that it's a little bit dimmer. All right, just for fun, let me pull out of the bucket 1 more light bulb, and I'm going to add a 3rd load into this circuit, into this series. And just to show you that the power is going to be divided and distributed between the 3 bulbs, you'll see how dim they are now that we've added another load. Still the 6 volt battery. Look, even more dim. So the more loads that you add onto a series circuit, the less current that each one of them is going to receive, which is kind of a downfall of a series circuit, that the more loads that you add onto that circuit, the less power that they get. So you're going to see that they decrease in the brightness of the bulbs. So not really ideal for like wiring your house kind of thing. All right, so that's series circuit. All right, so one other thing I forgot to add about series circuit, we saw that every time we added an additional load onto the circuit, that the bulbs all got even dimmer. Another thing that happens that you want to make note of besides the bulbs getting dimmer as you add additional loads is that look what happens on this series circuit when you take out and unscrew 1 bulb. You see the rest of the bulbs in the circuit are going to go out. So that's a big disadvantage. Imagine that you had your, say, living room or your bedroom wired in a series circuit. Either you have everything off or you have everything on. You can't have 1 bulb off and 1 bulb on, which is unfortunate. So if you take out this 1 load in that circuit, then everything else is going to go out. They all lose power because you've now opened the circuit. The electrons don't have a complete loop to follow anymore. We've kind of broken that one loop, it's now called an open circuit rather than closed. But once we put that light bulb back in, it's now closed and has that complete loop and complete path for the electrons to follow. So keep those two things in mind when you're thinking about series circuits, and then you can compare that to what it looks like for a parallel circuit.